So today we have a very interesting story about our trip back from San Diego.
We started in San Diego and went to Chicago to MKE because there was no direct flight.
But little did we know that this flight back home was going to be one of the worst ways to go back home ever.
The way out there was not bad at all.
Well, I mean, there was some problems here and there.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything like what we experienced on the way back.
Like, yes. I hate flying in general, though.
I do too. It gives us both really bad anxiety.
I think the worst thing I hate about when it comes to flying is the fact that when you're like taking off and the plane just starts like going up like that, you feel like you're falling, but your seat's like keeping you right there, but you feel like you're gonna fall, and then you feel that plane just start going like...
I don't like the part where you're going up and then you have to stabilize because it starts shaking, and then I feel like you're gonna fall, you know?
I hate that so much.
It's terrible. I mean, the takeoff to me is not the worst part. It's the getting like higher and then stabilizing.
You cry during takeoff though.
Yeah, because I know what's coming.
So we're gonna tell you about our trip back here to Milwaukee and just the shit that we had to deal with. I'm gonna censor that.
But first we're gonna tell you on the way there.
So on the way there, it wasn't really anything exciting. It was, there was a bit of turbulence, so to speak, but it was actually fairly peaceful, except for a crying baby.
Me.
No, like there was actually a crying baby on the plane, don't you remember?
No.
It was like fussing.
I was too busy freaking out. Anyways, we had a flight around 6:40, and we got there and we were on time and everything, except I forgot my ID.
That had to be the one thing that actually made me mad, because the funny thing was she was badgering me the whole entire time about having everything ready. Make sure you have this, make sure you have that, make sure you have clothes. And then the second we get to the airport, I'm like, all right, we're ready to do this.
Ty, I forgot my ID.
It was bad.
Bad. We had to end up calling your mom, and we were both like so upset with you.
So we asked the guy at the front desk, like, what do we do? And he looks at us and he's like, well, she's gonna have to go through screening. And
well, nothing like that. It was just like, well, if she wants to go through, she has to go through screening. So she goes to the screening process, and thank God she was able to make it through.
That lady was not nice.
But anyway, we managed to get to San Diego perfectly fine. But like we said, the trip back was by far the worst.
I had my ID at that point. My mom mailed it to us.
So the main issue was that, so we get to the airport at San Diego, and we're actually ready to go. So we get there way early than we usually do. And it's fairly empty. Maybe there's a few people already waiting for us. So we decide that we are gonna go get some food. We get back and there's a huge like mosh pit.
It looks like a party.
Yeah.
At gate 27 or whatever gate it was.
But the thing was, we get there and then we hear over the intercom it's because another flight to Chicago had been canceled, so they were gonna give the passengers on that plane seats on ours, which means it was gonna be totally booked.
And they asked maybe 5 times, if you can give up your seat, please do. And like checking bags and everything like that, you know. It was just a big fiasco.
I ain't giving up my seat. I'm ready to go home.
Right? So anyways, and then the funny thing was they delayed our flight from San Diego to Chicago 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times.
The first time I was not that worried. I'm like, okay, it's just a few minutes, it's whatever. Then it became a second time. By the third time, they started making the announcements that we should start making arrangements in case we miss our flight if it's not connecting. So I had to go up because it was probably one of the best decisions we had to do. And I go and ask this guy, we have a flight from Chicago all the way back to Milwaukee. Do you think we'll be able to make it on time? Or is there another flight that you can give us? He goes to the computer, says, no, there's no others. You have to just get on this plane and hope for the best.
Well, and we asked about our connection. We said, are we gonna be able to make our connection? He's like, maybe. I'm like, that's not what I wanna hear. I wanna hear, yes, you will make your connection.
By the way, that's not an exaggeration how she says it, the whole maybe. That was actually how he responded, just maybe.
Like, hope for the best. Like, dude, I want to go home.
This is one thing I guess I'll complain about certain employees, and let me make this clear. Don't give any harassment to any employees, whether it's flight attendants or the people who are the ones boarding you on the plane. They're doing their jobs. I have a specific problem for people who have like an attitude. Like, if you can keep a good attitude, I don't blame you if you want to lose it on them, if they're unruly customers. But if it's actually someone who's genuinely worried, you know, at least try and be a little bit nice.
Exactly.
So anyway, eventually we all get on the plane, and
very late, mind you.
And it turns out the reason they were late was because there was heavy headwinds hitting them on the way back from Chicago. So as we are taking off, everything goes smoothly. We even get a great view, which you'll see right here, of a nice little like mountainside with some snow here. It was actually a really good shot.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
But then as the flight continues, we're hitting like what is possibly the many times we've flown together. I've only flown 4 times in my life. 4.
I've flown probably over 50 times.
Yeah, but probably one of the worst cases of turbulence that we had ever experienced.
It was bad.
So bad, like I actually almost like felt myself jump from my seat at one of the hits.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole time the turbulence was going, I was literally gripping my seat, like freaking out, gripping his arm. It was terrible. The flight was 3 hours?
4 hours.
4 hours. And the thing about that is it's not bad once you get in the air and you're like stable unless you hit turbulence, which is what we were hitting.
Turbulence has got to be one of the most terrifying things to feel. Yeah, we ended up missing our flight and
to Milwaukee, from Chicago to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Which was literally like a 20-minute flight.
And I ended up screwing up with our seats back to Milwaukee when we got the extra plane. I put our tickets for the latest flight.
He booked it before we missed it. So like we're in the air and he rebooks it.
You got to keep in mind, this was like the 4th time, or at this time, the 3rd time I had ever flown before. So I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And according to the app that we use, American Airlines, they had already booked us for the next one, which was at 11:30 a.m. However,
Should've been nicer.
Well, again, I've never used that before. I didn't know what I was doing.
I get it, yeah, it's hard.
But anyway, I booked us for one at 6:40. Personally,
The next day, mind you, we had to stay overnight in Chicago.
now, personally, I actually don't think it was that bad per se, that part, because it actually meant more rest for both of us. So we could like sleep in.
We got really good rest. And we ordered food again because, you know, what are we gonna do?
We'll get to that in a bit though. We finally land, and of course, we actually see the plane, I guess, from the gate. We only noticed it was the gate by the time we got off, but we actually noticed the plane outside the window taking off, and all I could comment was, "Bye, plane to Milwaukee. I guess we'll see you tomorrow."
We landed at the time we were supposed to take off.
Yeah.
So I was like, Ty, there's no way. And you're like, yeah.
And then came one of the things that I didn't know actually happens when you get yourself trapped, so to speak, or stuck in a city that you're not supposed to be in. You have a connecting flight. I didn't know this at first, but apparently our bags were already at Milwaukee. Because the reason
I tried to tell him that.
Well, the reason why I thought that was because when I looked on the American Airlines app, it said bag carriage where our bags would be. So I guess it's just an automatic thing just in case that is where you're landing. The app just does that. So I'm sitting there, or not even sitting, I'm standing there for about maybe 15 minutes waiting for our bag to come. And then I ended up calling her mom, and that's when she told me, oh yeah, it's already in Milwaukee because they fly faster. They actually get a faster travel. Okay.
So I'm sitting there on the phone with my friend eating food, waiting for him. Because I had to pee. So he's like down, far down at like the last carousel. And I'm sitting there on the floor waiting for him. And we're both like dead tired at this point and just want to go lie down. And this is the worst part. We had to find a shuttle to the airport. And
from the airport.
From the airport to the hotel. We had no idea where we were going.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. It was raining.
It's like, yeah, you thought it was just the flight that was bad? No, it was the landing. It was how we were trapped in Chicago. You guys remember her story, trapped in Dallas, right here.
This was worse.
Yeah, by far worse. She had it kind of easy in Dallas because she knew what to do, and she had people telling her what to do. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and I began to panic.
And I didn't know what to do either because before I had people that helped me. But there was like nobody around because it was so late when we landed.
It was only, actually the crazy thing was it was only like 8:30, 8:45.
But when did we get to we didn't get to the hotel until like 10 o'clock at night.
No, we didn't get to the hotel until 10 because it turns out the one that we were going to, you needed a shuttle to get there. And if we had to walk, we would have had to walk for 20 minutes in the rain.
And the cold.
Yeah, and it was not bad. So I'm running all over this, what is it? Airport. I'm gonna put subtitles there that says airport idiot. I'm running around this airport trying to find out where to go. I then end up going to the front desk and I ask them and they say that you have to take a shuttle and that they usually wait for you up front. Then I call the hotel and they tell us that you have to wait by the airport. Then I go down to the Hilton, which happens to be a hotel that's right in front of the airport. And they tell us, oh no, you have to cross our hotel. Right, and the shuttles usually come every 15 or 30 minutes, and I'm just getting so mad because I'm like, can we just get our shuttle so we can just rest?
Well, in my mind, I'm like, why can't we just stay at the Hilton?
And you want to know why we couldn't stay at the Hilton? Because it would have cost us $150 a night.
I mean, granted, it's one night, but still.
But who knows how much they would have made us pay to just like at least stay in a little longer.
No, I know, because we had to pay extra for later checkout because we're not going to check out at like 11 o'clock in the morning when we have a flight at 6 o'clock.
Plus, I ain't paying those assholes. I hate the Hiltons. We end up actually finding the shuttle, thank goodness. We ended up finally. And I think we ended up staying at the Sonesta Hotel, which was a pretty decent hotel. We actually liked it.
It was nice. Yeah, it was really nice. And there, you know, the people were nice and everything. But we asked for later checkout and he had to pay like $60 extra.
And it's more than that. It's not just $60 extra. Keep in mind, they actually booked us the hotel, which is good. That means they had us, there was reservations for us to stay because that's one of the things I like about American Airline benefits is that if you miss your flight and it's not because of you,
they'll book you.
Yeah, if it's actual inconvenience, they'll book for you. But the thing was, despite the fact that they booked us, it cost us $55 to get an actual room. And I'll add that to 65 actually. 65 just to leave at 3. It cost me 115 or at least 120.
So honestly, it wouldn't be much better if we went to the Hilton. It wasn't much better than a night, but then on top of that, you have the later checkout.
And now we get to the freaking ordering of food.
Oh my God, it was the worst.
No, it was absolutely hell. I hated it. To start it off, there was barely really even anything to eat. It turns out there was a McDonald's down the way. I could have just gotten some from there and walked there, but I was actually craving something else. And I wanted some Wendy's really bad.
So I forgot, you got Wendy's, what did I get?
You had Subway.
No, I had Subway the next day.
No, you had Denny's.
I had Denny's. Worst decision I ever made.
Mine too.
Denny's, first of all, they didn't give me any silverware. So I had to eat with my hands. So, and then I am like weird about drinking water. So I drank the water too fast, so I got really bad stomach cramps. So that was the worst part for me for the food ordering. But nothing was open because it was so late. So we didn't really have any choices.
Now the crazy thing is that one of the things from the Denny's got you sick, wasn't it?
No, it was the water.
Oh, it was the water?
Yeah.
I thought it was something from Denny's.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but not to mention, when it came to getting into the hotel, I guess the Sonesta is unique in this. Maybe there are other hotels who do this. But to use the elevator, you have to use your key card in order to like go up the elevator. Now, personally, I think that's kind of unique. I like that. It's a security method.
But we were like pushing the button like 80 times and it wouldn't go up. Do you remember that?
The funny part was the doors closing. You're like, Ty, what's happening? What's happening? She didn't get to bed.
I hate elevators. I'm like, we're gonna get stuck. And he's like, babe, just calm down.
No, I didn't say babe, just calm down. I said, babe. And I pushed the button and the door opened.
But we're like pushing the button. I'm like, go.
Like, what the heck? And then I went like, wait a minute. I see like the little like black thing that's like on the door, like where the buttons are.
And he's like,
let me see something. Put the card there.
And then the elevator goes, and I'm like, oh.
No, that was me. Just
I'm like, that's cool. You're like, not really.
Yeah, well, I did because how are people supposed to know that?
They don't.
So after we get our food, we always do like this one tradition where no matter what, whether it's something I cook or we order out, we'll watch something on Disney Plus or Paramount Plus.
We just like to watch TV while we eat. Yeah. It's entertaining.
It's actually really relaxing too.
We've eaten maybe once at our table down here.
Most of the time we're just watching TV.
Yeah, iCarly or,
By the
Austin and Alley or something.
Which watching iCarly is actually kind of dark now with the whole quiet on set thing.
I mean, I'm not watching it, but he talks about it a lot, so.
So anyway, we decide we're gonna watch something on my laptop. Thank goodness I bought my laptop.
Because we couldn't figure out the TV to get a streaming service because we don't have cable down here. We just do streaming service.
No, it wasn't that they didn't have a stream. No, the TV didn't have it. It was like your classical cable TV, the 296, 299, 300 kind of thing.
Well, they didn't have anything on that was nice.
Right.
We liked.
So we ended up trying to watch a little bit of iCarly, hit with a network error twice.
It was awful.
We couldn't watch anything, so then we decided, okay, we'll watch some Disney Plus, watch Austin and Alley. And guess what? Does the same thing.
So we're like, okay, well, we'll just do YouTube.
And that actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it worked better in the morning, the internet. I don't know if they fixed it or something.
Speaking of the morning, that was by far the most, well, I wouldn't say it was the most, but it was not as bad, but it was near just as bad.
Did you sleep well at the hotel?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I slept like a rock.
I couldn't sleep, but that's because for some reason, anytime we sleep anywhere else, whether it's at relatives or even other hotels, I can't sleep because I just don't recognize the bed for some reason.
He'll wake up and be like, where am I? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love my sleep. I sometimes have a hard time getting to sleep, but when I'm asleep, I'm out. Like a light. He can attest to that.
But anyway, we decided to get some food because it's already lunch. We really slept in and we're glad we got the extended time.
We woke up at about 11, right?
No, I woke up at around 10.
Okay, I woke up at around 11:30.
Yeah.
Because I have a set alarm that goes off at 11:30 every morning. So I got up at 11:30. He got up at 10. And he's like, hey, babe, we should order food and then get out of here. And I was like, okay, fine. What's open?
So I ordered Wendy's again because, I don't know, I've been craving Wendy's a lot recently. And she decides to actually get Subway. I guess they were ordering. There's one problem to ordering Subway. They don't do special instructions.
I love Subway. Obsessed.
Yeah, but again, they don't do special instructions. The only instructions they'll let you do are pre-rendered, which means they'll say, if not available, give me something else, or cancel order if they don't have it.
And you can't customize your own on that thing.
No.
It just doesn't work.
I guess you ended up getting a cold cut?
Yeah.
You end up getting a cold cut. So cold cut has bologna, salami, and ham. Get this. Guess what they didn't put on the sandwich?
Salami.
And?
Turkey.
And?
Was
ham.
Ham.
But guess what they kept?
Only meat was bologna.
Yeah. So
it was disgusting.
So she basically had a veggie sandwich.
And I had to eat the bologna too because I was like, this veggie sandwich is it was this big. It went from this big with just the veggie. So I put some bologna on it to make it a little bit bigger. But I hated it. It was gross. I don't like bologna. So
And I ordered my Wendy's, and they didn't even bring me the order that I wanted. I specifically ordered, I kind of forgot what I ordered, but I ordered 2 of one thing. They only sent me the one, and I asked for large fries. They sent me small.
It just wasn't. It was DoorDash, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was just a really bad DoorDash thing.
Do better, DoorDash. I work for you idiots.
So, that was not fun.
And then came the flights because I don't know if anyone can explain in the comments the difference, but this one was a shorter flight because we're in Chicago.
It was literally a 20-minute flight.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's on one of those planes that instead of going higher, it only goes about 7,000 feet. So, because the destination's so quick. My God, I'm not gonna lie, scariest flight we've probably ever been on.
I was sobbing the entire time. I was sitting there sobbing for 20 minutes.
For 20 minutes, and the guy in front of us, bless his heart, he was such a nice guy. He was like, is everything okay?
Is she okay? And he's like, yeah.
Well, I had to explain, she's terrified. She gets terrified of turbulence. She's legit crying to the point, she's covering her mouth. Her mouth is wide open. She is
I was crying to the point where I wanted to throw up.
She was sobbing. And I think what made me kind of laugh internally at the situation was if you looked all over the entire plane, if you looked everywhere else, everyone's just on their phones watching their thing. This plane's going dun 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 dun.
And they're just sitting there like
they're just
bouncing,
looking,
and I'm like,
there's these two women casually having conversations. In my head, I'm thinking, how are you people so calm? This plane is rocking so much. I'm expecting to look out my window and see, oh my God, I can see my house from here. Oh, I can really see it from here.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm like holding his arm and I'm like, and he's like, it's okay, baby, like chill out.
I had to calm her down so bad.
And I felt terrible afterwards. Like, it's just so anxiety provoking. When I have a panic attack, I cry a lot.
But the best part was that the guy who was flying was so funny.
The guy,
He's like, all right, we'll be ready to get us all parked up and you guys can head to your next destination or go home, whatever is best for you.
He was just really chill. But it took us forever to get to the gate.
Yeah.
And I had to pee really bad.
The problem is that the gate we were going to, it had the bigger planes, so it was going a lot slower. But the problem was it was raining in Milwaukee, so the guy was having a difficulty. You know, I don't know who they're called, but they're the ones with the like flash.
Well,
those
people
sticks.
got diverted to where we were.
Yeah.
To Milwaukee, and we had to wait. But it wasn't bad. The turbulence was bad because we were so low. But on the first flight, I forgot to mention this, like 40 people had to pee. I hate peeing. I hate peeing on airplanes. And I had to go. So I had to wait in a line. It's awful.
And then came probably the not as bad, but still just as annoying, finding the lift.
Yeah, that was bad.
Turns out the guy was on the other side of the airport.
It was hard to hear because it was so loud at the airport. So Ty's like, what? What? I'm sorry, what?
I couldn't hear everyone because everyone's like, over here, no, blah, 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 intercom.
You know
intercom.
You know how it gets at airports. It was so loud he couldn't hear the guy.
Thank God we ended up finding him because I guess I got a notification from Lyft, and I didn't know that Lyft did this, but if you don't get to your ride on time, the driver is expected to cancel and they still get paid for the pickup.
This guy stayed though. He was so nice. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm your Lyft driver. Like, we're so sorry. He's like, no, it's all good. It's fine.
And even asked us like, do you want a different radio or are you guys okay?
Yeah, like the music preference. And he's like, the temperature good? We're like, yeah, we're fine, thanks.
Good driver.
We didn't really talk much on the way back, but
No, we were
Ty
too
and I
good.
were like really tired.
But it was still, like I said, I will say, trip to San Diego, absolutely blast. Learned how to body surf, and we went to Lucadia of all places, which I'll be making a video about soon.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We went out to eat, right?
Yeah.
We went out to eat twice. We went to the fish market, and we went to a place called Broken Yoke.
We even went to the aquarium, and
that was fun. We saw
seeing
penguins. It was so cute.
I love penguins. I want a penguin.
I know.
I want a penguin. Let's go buy one.
Honey,
I want a penguin.
it's gonna be like $1,000. I thought we were gonna get a dog.
I want a penguin.
We'll talk about it. Anyway, he loves penguins, as you can see. There were, what else? There were like fish, you know, and there was jellyfish.
She loves jellyfish. But that was our horrible trip back from San Diego.
It wasn't a horrible trip. It was just a horrible trip back. So we got home a day late.
I had to take off.
He had to take off work, which was fine. I thought I was gonna have to get a new phone, but now my phone's working, so I don't think I have to get a new one, which is good.
Lottie freaking da.
It kept like restarting and things wouldn't load, it wouldn't open, it was just...
But that's our story time. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this and have any other ideas, like we always say at the end of our videos, leave a comment down below of any ideas you suggest that we should do, whether it's separate or together. And as I say, till next time, peace.